Hi guys, this is Miss Regine from SOAR Educational Services. Today we are going to work on an Algebra 1 skill, which is completing the square with quadratic equations. Quadratic equations form the parabolas. They look like this, and quite often you are asked to find the root of the equation, and the root is where it crosses the x-axis. So if you imagine there's on an x-axis, which it would look more symmetrical than what I have drawn, but those would be the roots right here. So there are many different strategies to find the root. One strategy is completing the square. So to complete the square, what we would do is after the 14x, we are going to add a box, which is where we're going to add a new number. And quadratic equations are set equal to 0, but in this strategy, we're actually going to move the 51, so the last term with no variable, to the other side by doing inverse operation. So whereas we had negative 51, now we have positive 51. And in math, you should know that whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. So I put a box to balance it out. All right, now the number that we're going to put in this box, we're going to get that number by taking what, this is our A term, which is 1. Our B term is 14, and our C term was negative 51, but now we moved it to the other side as positive 51. So you're going to take your B term, you're going to divide it by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, and we square it, and that is 49. So what we're going to add here is 49, which is the same thing we do on the other side. Whatever we add to one side, we do on the other. All right, so now we will factor it. Now, the rule for factoring is the same rule you've learned already in Algebra 1 for factoring. But an easy way to think about this is when we did 14 divided by 2, we got 7. It is just going to be whatever that answer was. So it's going to be x plus 7 to the second power. And when we factor, we think about 7 times 7 is 49, but 7 plus 7 is 14. So that's all we've done here. So we've factored it. It's preferable that you write it this way because it's going to make solving it a lot easier as opposed to writing x plus 7 in one parentheses and x plus 7 in another parentheses. So it's better to just write x plus 7 to the second power. All right, and now 51 plus 49 is 100. Now with quadratic, there's a step where you can use the square root method. So we use the square root method, use the square root method. X plus 7 equals plus or minus 10. So remember, when you take the square root of a number, it could be positive or it could be negative. So that's why we have plus or minus 10. And now let's solve for our two answers. Remember, it's going to be two answers. So when x plus 7 equals positive 10, we have minus 7, so we have x equals 3. When x plus 7 equals negative 10, we have minus 7, and we get x is equal to negative 17. So those are our two answers, 3 and negative 17. All right, let's try another one. So this one, x squared plus 6x plus 8. All right, so again, let's remember we have our A term, our B term, our C term. A is 1. A is not always 1, but so far these problems have been 1, and those are the easier problems. Sometime A will have another number in front of it. All right, so as I said, we'll copy the A and the B, put a box here, so for where we're going to add our new number, move the 8 to the other side, and it's going to be negative 8 plus blank. All right, so now the B term, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 to the second power is 9. And whatever we do on one side, we do on the other, and that's 9. All right, now over here, we're going to, remember, let me write this step again so make sure you have it. So 6 divided by 2, so that's our B term. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then we square that 3, and we get 9. And when we factor, the factored form is going to be with this number right here. Because 3 times 3 gives us 9, and 3 plus 3 gives us 6. And negative 8 plus 9 is positive 1. And now we're going to take the square root of both sides because we want to solve for x. So we take the square root, take the square root. When you take the square root of a number, you have just x plus 3, or what, you know, with whatever value. If a value is square and you take the square root of it, you just end up with that original value. So x plus 3, and then equals plus or minus 1, because the square root of 1 could be positive 1 or it could be negative 1. All right, so now let's set it. X plus 3 equals 1. X plus 3 equals negative 1. All right, minus 3 minus 3. X equals negative 2. Minus 3 minus 3. X equals negative 4. All right, so those are our two answers. X equals negative 2 and x equals negative 4. All right, let's try another one. You can pause the video for this one if you think you have gotten the hang of it, to try it on your own. So it's x squared plus 14x. Actually, it's minus 15. All right, so step 1, we know this is our A, this is our B, this is our C. Step 2, write your A term, write your B term, put a blank there, move your C term to the other side, and put another blank, because whatever you do on one side, you're going to do on the other. All right, now what we're going to put in our blank is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. And then we're going to square that 7, and that gives us 49. And whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. And now we're going to factor. So remember, when we factor, it's going to be this number right here, x plus 7 to the second power. And 49 plus 15 is 64. And then we're going to take the square root, x plus 7 equals plus or minus 8. So we have x plus 7 equals 8, and we also have x plus 7 equals negative 8. So if we do minus 7, x equals what? Minus 7, x equals negative 15. Now, if you are doing this on your own and you want to check your answer, you can actually plug in the 1 wherever you see x, and you will get 0. And you can plug in the negative 15 wherever you see x, and you will get 0. So those are the values that will give you 0. That's why they call them zeros of the function, because where it crosses the x-axis, y is 0. So that's why we call it 0 of the function. All right, I'm going to give you another one. This one's a little bit more challenging because the answer is not going to be a whole number answer. So we have x squared minus 4x minus 91. X squared minus 4x minus 91 equals 7. All right, so first you see something different. Instead of being set equal to 0, you have a 91 and a 7. So you have the numbers differently. What we're going to do is start the same way. This is still our A term, so that hasn't changed. And if they are in different order, just know whatever has the second power is your A term. Whatever has x to the first, or whatever variable it is to the first, is your B term. And the one without a variable is your C term. All right, what we're going to do is move 91 to the other side and add it to the 7 that was already there. And so now we have 98, and we put the blank there. Now, for our next step, we take the B term, which is negative 4. So pay attention to your sign, because all the other ones before were positive. But this one is negative. So it's negative 4, and that gives us negative 2. And when you square it, that's going to give you positive 4. So you're going to put a 4 here and a 4 here. Now we're still going to factor. And what we factor is still going to be over here. And that's 102. Because 98 plus 4 is 102. And now we're going to take the square root, and we're going to take the square root. And With this one, 102 cannot be broken down. It's not a perfect square. All the other ones we did before, I think we had 64, we had 1. Those were perfect square numbers. This is not a perfect square. So the x minus 2 to the second power, when you take the square root of it, you still have x minus 2. But 102 cannot break down anymore. So we're just going to leave it like that. And now you have x equals positive square root of 102, and x minus 2 equals negative square root of 102. And all we can do, or at least the best we can, I mean, you can plug it into a calculator and get a decimal answer, but most teachers are not going to really want that. So the best is just to do add 2 to both sides, and we just have 2 plus the square root of 102. So that's our answer. Most teachers will accept that. And if you add 2 to both sides over here, so we're still just following the regular step of solving equation, and you have 2 minus the square root of 102. And that would be our next one. So we just leave it like that. All right, so we're going to stop here for today, but let's just summarize. Today we learned how to solve a quadratic equation using completing the square strategy. And this you learn in Algebra 1. I hope this was helpful. Remember to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.